If you're under 2,000 calories and you're struggling to get lean, you have an inflamed gut, you just can't seem to drop that last little bit of tire that's around your waist, no matter how much cardio you do, no matter how low you get your calories, then this video is for you. Because there's a common misconception about losing body fat and the common misconception about overly restrictive diets that are leading to a lot of people for gaining a lot of weight back really quickly or not being able to actually sustain a lean physique year round. And I want to kind of explain why these overly restrictive diets and getting under 2,000 calories is just not safe. My name is Adam Bono. I'm an online fat loss professional. I currently work with 89 guys to get them to the leanest body fat percentage they've ever been using a predictable form of metabolic priming, which is the process of metabolism manipulation through correct nutritional factors, right? I've done nutrition consultation after consultation over my years, and like the biggest thing that I see with a lot of people and a lot of men in today's society is they are highly, highly under eating, and it's just not safe, right? So there's a couple things that you actually compromise when you go into a very low calorie deficit, and the biggest one is going to be you compromise a lot of lean body mass, right? So a lot of people who go on the crash diet, right, or they get to very low amounts of calories very fast because they're super impatient, they put your body in a very metabolic unhealthy position, which means that one, you start to degrade a lot of muscle tissue. So the thing about muscle tissue is it's highly metabolic. It takes 8 calories to sustain 1 pound of muscle tissue and 2 calories to sustain 1 pound of body fat. So as it is quite literally scientifically more unhealthy to lose muscle tissue than it is to lose body fat. Now think about that. Think about that in perspective. It is more unhealthy to lose muscle tissue than it is to lose body fat, because metabolically it is so healthy to have a good amount of muscle tissue that like it is quite literally more healthy to not lose body fat and have more muscle tissue. So a lot of people, when they compromise their muscle tissue in general, they crash diet, they go under these 2,000 calorie diets for very, very long extended period of time. And maybe you listen to this right now and you've been under 2,000 calories for months on end and you're spinning your wheels and you just can't figure out how to get rid of that last little bit of lower body fat that's been kind of holding you back. And you've probably lost weight in the past. You've probably lost 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 pounds, but now you're spinning your wheels, right? And that's because you've degraded muscle tissue, you've degraded your metabolic rate, right? And that happens when you go through a long period of time of over restrictive dieting that puts you in a position where you're now, anytime you eat a little bit more food, go out with the family members, go on vacation, you gain a lot of muscle, gain a lot of body fat back, and now you're in an even worse position to lose the body fat because you try to, one, restrict yourself and go back to what was working and is no longer working because you've lowered your metabolic rate and now your body wants to survive, and so it's going to hold on to every calorie you eat to keep your body upright, keep your body moving, and keep your body, just breathing. Right? And so like 60% of your entire metabolism is your basal metabolic rate, which is sleeping, blood flow, organ function, all the stuff that just keeps you upright. And so when you go to highly calorically, deficit diets, one, you probably lose a lot of weight really fast, but you probably lost 20 pounds of muscle, maybe 30 pounds of fat. It puts you in a worse position metabolically. You lose a bunch of muscle tissue. So the thing about it is the society thinks they have a weight loss problem. They have a fat loss problem. More specifically, we have a problem keeping fat off because nobody knows how to keep it off. So scientifically, data-driven, 30% of people who lose 20 plus pounds only keep it off. 30% of the people that lose 20 plus pounds keep it off for good. And even a smaller amount of those people keep it off for more than 3 years. So think about that. We don't have a weight loss problem in the United States. We have a fat loss problem, and we have a problem keeping fat off. More problematic is that people just don't understand how much to eat to keep your metabolic rate high, to keep your insulin levels regulated, which think about it like this. Like once you start to lower your calories and go to severe calorie deficit, you start to raise ghrelin levels and you start to lower leptin levels. So ghrelin is the hunger hormone. So you start to go into low calorie deficits and your ghrelin starts to go up and your leptin, which is the satiety hormone, starts to lower. So it puts you in a position where you're under 2,000 calories, you start to degrade muscle tissue, but now you're hungry and you're being able to be less satiated, which keeps you rebounding and actually puts you on more body fat than you did when you even lost initial weight, right? And so that's where people go wrong, is that people are gaining more weight back, not understanding how to get out of low calorie deficits. It's extremely imperative that people understand that being under 2,000 calories for an extended period of time is not healthy. And yes, like I coach 89 guys, and every once in a while, if we have to get somebody extremely lean, like 6%, 7% body fat, we may get them to 1,800 calories, but we don't stay there. And we periodically refeed them to keep their metabolism in check and make sure they're getting good energy levels for the supplementation of good workouts, because you need that stimulation of workouts. You need that stimulation of actually breaking the muscle down to rebuild the muscle and to make sure that you're not losing muscle tissue, because the most important thing is that it's imperative that you keep muscle tissue, because like I said, it is quite literally more unhealthy to lose muscle tissue than it is to lose body fat. So you want to be able to maintain muscle tissue, and that's how you're going to get a lean physique year round, is be able to maintain muscle tissue, not degrade your muscle tissue, and not put your body in a spot where you're under 2,000 calories for a while. We have clients in my program right now of 1,000 calories, 2,000 calories, and down 20 pounds, because we understand what people need, what our specific client needs in the form of protein, carbs, and fats to maintain good hormone levels, to maintain metabolism, and to get them to a lower fat percentage without losing muscle tissue. And that's what people don't understand. People don't understand the longevity and the sustainability behind how to keep a lean physique, how to stay lean year round. And that's where most people go wrong, because they try to get to low calorie deficits, stay there for too long, don't understand how to get out of it, and they end up gaining more weight back than they did in the initial beginning. And that's where most people are going wrong in today's society. And it's very common. I'd say 90% of people have this specific problem understanding how to get lean and understanding how to stay lean. But there's a proper way to do it, and it takes having a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of education on how the body works, and a little bit more structure on what you need and how much you need to eat, because you could be tracking all the calories in the world. You could be tracking every macronutrient that you currently have in your MyFitnessPal. But if you don't understand how much to eat, it doesn't even matter, because without tracking, without a correct goal, it doesn't matter if you're tracking or not. You might as well just be not tracking any food. So understanding how much you need to eat, how much protein, carbs, and fats you need to maintain ghrelin, to maintain leptin, to maintain good metabolic levels is where most people go wrong. And I'd say 90% of the guys who come to me are under eating. And what we simply do is hyper-focus on growing lean muscle tissue. We hyper-focus on focusing on getting their metabolism to crank more, getting their T3, which is the active form of the thyroid hormone, to increase, which allows them to eat more food and allows their body to burn more food. And what do I mean by that? Eat more food and burn more food. Well, people think that burning calories only comes in the form of exercise, right? Burning calories with exercise is only 15% about how your body burns calories. 15%. And that actually starts to degrade over time. So for instance, if you're burning 500 calories on week 1 and you're doing an hour of cardio, 4 weeks goes by, that actual calorie amount starts to decrease because your body gets used to the amount of cardio that you're doing, right? Which that's a big misconception as well, is that the same amount of calories you burn, because you could be on the treadmill looking at the calories burned, on your Apple Watch looking at the calories burned, and it could be misleading, because your body, as it starts to adapt and get used to cardio, then it starts to burn less calories. And keep in mind, that's only 15% of your body burns food. The other 85% is your resting metabolic rate, which is your metabolism. Next is your thermic effect of food, which is how many calories it takes your body to break down food. And then next is your non-energy activity thermogenesis, which is how many calories your body burns at rest. That makes up 85%. So you only understand 15% about how your body burns food, and you're trying to track calories under 2,000 calories and saying that you are eating, X amount of food and burning X amount of calories, and you are completely off. And that's what people don't understand is how much you need to eat, how much you need to consume, what you need to be doing in the gym to maintain lean muscle tissue, to maintain metabolism, to get yourself to a lower body fat percentage, and how to properly structure a reverse diet, or what we call a metabolic priming phase, which we prime your metabolism to get you back in eating a correct amount of food and maintaining the weight. So what would your life be like if you took your 2,000 calorie diet and you added 1,000 calories to it, but you were leaner and you could sustain it and you weren't hungry and your ghrelin wasn't, through the roof, your satiety hormones weren't, in the garbage? How much more maintainable would it be if you're at 3,000 calories, being able to sustain that for longer, not being able to starve yourself? So some of my clients right now, they complain about how much food they're eating, and they're down 26 pounds. I just did a client case study. You guys go check it out on my channel with my client Mike. He is up 1,200 calories per day, down 26 pounds, eating 3,200 calories a day. We took him from 2,100 calories to 3,200 calories, and now he's 26 pounds down. And he complains about eating more food when he went from the position of feeling like that he could never satiate himself. Now he's overly satiated and down 26 pounds. How much easier would your life be, and how much more sustainable would that be? That's what you need to understand is there's a proper way to do it, and there's a proper way to maintain it, and there's a proper way to get your body to a leaner body fat percentage and keep it off for damn good. It's an education problem of what you need to do and how you need to get there. And so my channel is going to have a ton of free resources on exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to metabolic priming, how to increase your metabolic rate, how to prime your metabolism, and how to get yourself out of this 2,000 calorie deficit. Go check out all those videos on my channel. I promise they will help, and I promise they'll get you into a better position.